Yo guys, this is Crescent here. Today I'll be bringing you my Magicka Templar build. A lot of people have been asking for me about this build. When are you coming up with your Magicka Templar build? Finally, I decided that I'm comfortable with this build, and yeah, here it is. Okay, so yeah, I'd just like to explain that this build is meant to play solo or in a really small skill. I'll change up the skills later to let you see how the build function in solo, small skill, and in raid environment. Alright, let's get started then. You get started like usual with the items. Nothing much has changed. Still using the old Scoria. You can't proc anymore with Scoria, but you need to do some. You need some damage somewhere, and Scoria is a good source of damage, even though you can't proc it, because 10k flame damage is really important. Okay, Ratter Cage, the same piece, the same 5 piece on the body. Ratter Cage. You want probably 3 sturdy and at least 4 impen on the body, and on the rings I'll be using leech rings, 2 spell damage and 1 magical recovery with leech shield and leech axe. And this is the important thing. For this build to function well, you need a lightning staff, preferably a master lightning staff or a maelstrom lightning staff sharpened. This is really important because I'll explain to you why I use lightning staff instead of dual wheel for this patch. And yeah, so the sets are done. I'll just go through the potions, poisons, Mundus stone, and FoodBuff really quickly because it's more or less the same. Yeah, like usual, tri-stat is really good. Immovability is really good as well. You can use this one that has stealth detection, or you can use the one that gives you health and magicka and immune to knockback. That is really good as well. And there's another one that gives you crit, which is decent as well. And of course, invincible pots is really good. Sometimes you can run away from Zergs with the invincible pot. Okay, and about the poisons, like usual, you can use damage poisons, or you can use cost increase poisons. Those kind of poisons are really good. And there's this particular poison I want to mention that is really important as well. It increases the cost of victims' magical abilities, especially against socks, because as a Templar you always face problem fighting targets with shields because your damage output is not reliable enough, and it's not bursty enough for Templar. That's why this is really important, to increase the cost of magicka for magicka classes. And the next one is really cool. This gives you minor breach to your target, reducing their spell damage. This is a good way to amplify your damage as a Magicka Templar, obviously. Okay, poisons are done, potions are done. Mundus, I'll be using Astronaut Mundus. Yep, increase your Magicka recovery by 210. Really cool. And the FoodBuff I'll be using is the tri-stat food. So I get this is my unbuffed stats. Crit is a bit low, but after I use Vampire's Bane, it will get up to 32%, so it's decent. Okay, yeah, so max stamina doesn't look really impressive, the stats, but the damage will come through when I explain it more further. Okay, and races, about races, what you can run, any single magicka race, something like High Elf, Dark Elf, Argonian will work as well. I'm a Breton works perfect as well. Usually these 4 will do just fine. Alright, yeah, I'll just go through the CP as well really quickly. Nothing has changed much, just a bit more CP for you to put into different trees, because now you have 600 CPs instead of 560. Okay, so 61 into Magician. You want a lot into Arcanist because you're using Lich set, which is a regeneration stat. 1 into Mooncalf. 28 into Shadow Ward. You sometimes need to block when you're fighting against really hard hitting Nightblades. Tumbling 20. 28 into Blast, more healing. Elf 115 with Spell Erosion 15. You could put more into Spell Erosion, but I don't recommend that because you need some points into Thermal Church, because a lot of your spells are channeling spells and channeling and dot spells. That's why damage over time effect. So that's why Thermal Church is really important. and 10 into Shattering Blows, just to increase damage against shields. And yeah, 85 into Elemental Expert, that is pretty obvious. Okay, you want minimum 30 points into Resistance, 80 into Hardy, a bit more into, I put a bit more into Hardy because I'm a Breton, so I get a little more reduce in magic damage. That's why I don't need that much into Elemental Defender, 67, and about 5 points into Thick Skin. You don't need a lot because you can cleanse away dots. 12 into Recovery just to amp up that Breath of Light, and 1 into Expert Defender just to reduce light and heavy attacks just by a bit. Alright, so the CP are done. I'll go through the most important thing now, the skills. Alright, so as you can see, I'm now running. I'm just gonna put out what I run as a solo player, and then I'll go through small skill and I'll go through raid build. Okay, so what you want to do as a solo player is you want obviously your Radiant Oppression. It got nerfed, but it's still alright, I guess. Toppling Charge is decent as well. This your gap closer is, damage is not really good, but you need to gap close no matter what. The cast time is reduced, I think, so it's a little bit better now. Toppling Charge, Jab, your bread and butter DPS skill. The thing is, you need to know that Jabs is an AoE skill, considered as AoE skill. That's why Lightning Staff would increase the damage of puncturing sweeps. I tested it with the tooltip is higher on Lightning Staff compared to Fire Staff or Ice Staff. That's why we are using Lightning Staff. And the most second important thing that you use Lightning Staff is Shock Reach. This is good because it stuns enemy. First thing is a reliable stun, single target, gives you dot, can proc Scoria, really good, and it doesn't knock back enemy like Flame Reach do. It doesn't snare. Ice gives you snare, but you want a reliable stun because this patch Templar doesn't have a really reliable stun. That's why Shock Reach is really important. And Refractive Life is your snare, your dot damage that procs what is that called? Burning Light, exactly. So you can proc Burning Light through sweeps, Toppling Charge, shard. No, doesn't proc Burning Light, but Refractive Light gives you increased crit percentage. That's why it's really important, and gives you minor sorcery, minor sorcery from the passive here. You can see exactly this one increases your spell damage by 5%. Minor sorcery. And your ulti, definitely you need to use Eye of Lightning because we are using Lightning Staff. Your AoE damage is increased. That's why Eye of Lightning is the best skill. You could use Empowering Sweeps, but it's not good anymore because Crescent Sweep went from Magicka to Stamina, so it's out of the question. And Empowering Sweeps is really weak. So Assault is decent, I guess. If you're running in a small group, you could use that, but I prefer to use Eye of Lightning because this is a AoE skill that get increased by Lightning Staff. Okay, and the back bar is pretty much the same. You want Luminous Shard. Luminous Shard is not good in my opinion in some ways in doing damage because you can't proc Burning Light anymore. This is not a dot anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, that is a big disappointment for me because I like to use shards as a source of damage as well, but it's alright because this skill now go through blocking target, so you can actually disorient blocking target with Luminous Shard, and it's a small AoE damage. So when you're playing defensive, like you're healing on your back bar, when you're spamming Breath of Light and you're cleansing, you're putting down Channel Focus, you can use Luminous Shard to take up some pressure from you, like you can stun targets around you. And obviously you need Elusive Mist just to run away from Zergs and everything, just to kite around, break free from snares and break free from roots and everything. But this is your backup ulti just to get some heals and a little bit damage when you're like under pressure. Bats is definitely the way to go instead of Eye of Lightning. Alright, so this setup is particularly made for soloing in Cyrodiil. But the setup, if you're running in a 2-man group or 3-man group, up to 4-man group in a small scale environment, I would say you should drop Shock Reach because you don't need single target. What you can put here instead is this skill, Purifying Light. This is really awesome. It could deal up to 7k damage if a target took a lot of damage. So this skill is really important against target that use shields, that stack shields a lot, or targets that are really tanky. So what you can usually do is you apply the dot, reflective light, then you put purifying light, then you go in, do some damage on the guy, and your friends will pound on him, on the guy that has purifying light. So when you reach the quota of the damage, which is 22k, that is a lot, and they will take around 6-7k damage instantly, and then you can beam them when they are in execute range. So the changes I would make in small skill group is put purifying light instead of short reach. Okay, so besides that, if you are playing in a larger group, like 5-man group, 6, 7, 8 or 9, 10, just a raid basically, you want to take away Purifying Light, because this is a single target skill that focuses on killing tanky targets and doing a lot of damage on a particular target that you want to kill. So you need AoE if you're running in a raid or in a larger group, so to say, okay? And then you should use Elemental Blockade, Walls of Element. This is so good. You know why? Because it the damage increases if you're using a lightning staff, and this is an AoE skill as well. That's why it's so good. You should use this and keep shard as well, because shard is AoE as well. So basically what you do is in your raid, you will just kite, when you're getting zerked down, you kite an opponent to a choke point, you drop down this Blockade of Storms, you put some dots on the enemy, reflective light, and then you can pop Destro ulti or something, throw shards, use bats. This is your AoE build for doing damage in raid. This is not a healing build, this is a damage dealing build for raid. Alright, yeah, I guess that's about it for the build video. It's more or less the same, I would say, just the skills I change it around. But I've been playing this build for 2 days and I really enjoy this build, so I hope you guys like it. And if you like the video, feel free to give the video a like and subscribe to my channel. That'll be really awesome, and I'll see you guys in Cyrodiil then. Okay, bye bye.